we are also getting you the visuals from Tehran, where there are also celebrations happening. And remember, this comes amid the claims which have been made by United States that Khamenei is dead. There are death reports, and Donald Trump himself has issued a statement on social media platform Truth Social that Khamenei, the most evil in the history, is dead, though no visual proof has been provided by the United States. And meanwhile, celebrations erupt in Tehran over these reports that the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is dead. Geeta Mohan continues to stay with us. Geeta, if US claims are to be believed that Khamenei is dead, can it be concluded that he died in the strikes that were made on Khamenei's compound, on his quarters? But wasn't he in a safe house or a bunker?
Well, those were earlier reports that were coming in. There was no confirmation on the death or signs of life either way. But yes, those were initial reports that were coming in from within Iran that he was not in the compound when that attack, the said attack, took place. But for now, the fact that there have been reports that have come in from Iran. There's confirmation from the President's Office of the United States of America, and there is confirmation from Israel, and the reactions that are coming in from Iran certainly confirm that Khamenei is dead, and there are reactions coming in terms of the death of the supreme leader of Iran from the streets of Tehran as well.
Right, Geeta, but even if Khamenei is dead, even if the reports and the statements are confirmed, does that necessarily mean that there will be a regime change in Iran?
Well, not necessarily, because killing a leader does not mean toppling the regime. The regime is bigger and deeper than one leader, which is what Arakchi, the foreign minister, had said, that there's a system in place for a takeover. And this is not the first time. There have been assassinations in the past as well, and there was a system. The regime did not topple. It was leadership was replaced. But how long can this go on? How long can they continue replacing leadership and being assassinated by Israeli American operations? So again, it's all about sustenance. Sustenance. This is an all-out war. There will be reactions from within Iran as well. One will have to see how the war for Iran is not going to be just one front, which is the enemy from outside. It's going to be two front, one enemy from outside, and then the resistance from within. Are the people really going to come out to resist the regime, and will they really help in toppling the regime is something we'll have to wait and see. But they have had such scenario and cases in the past as well. And they have managed to still stay in power. So the systems are in place, but how strong are they? How weakened is Iran today? Is an assessment we'll have to look at and do as the day proceeds.
All right, Geeta, do stay with us. My colleague Rohit Sharma is also joining us from Washington, D.C. Rohit, big announcement, big claim being made by US President Donald Trump, who has said that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the Iranian supreme leader, is dead after the joint strikes by US and Israel.
Well, earlier in the afternoon, and that I'm talking about the afternoon right now, where I am in Washington, D.C., is when we started seeing reports from the Israelis that talked about that Khamenei has been killed. It wasn't confirmed then. And then after that, we did see that the President of the United States offering comments to some US media saying that he believed that Khamenei was dead. But it was only later in the afternoon, about at around 5:12 p.m.-ish, when President Donald Trump basically came out and said that Khamenei, and one of the most evil person in the history, is dead. And he talked about how he had terrorized the region, and that the American systems were able to track him and his movements, and the United States worked very, very closely with Israel. So there was nothing essentially that Khamenei could have done. And then he talked about that there are so many leaders within the Iranian government and regime that do not want to fight and are looking to seek immunity from the United States. So he reiterated what he said last night, which was that they can get immunity. if they surrender to their arms, and then people should essentially Iranians should get on the street and ask for a new government, a new regime. So essentially, I think this is President Trump announcing to the world that America, with the help of Israel, has taken out Khamenei, who ruled in Iran for such a long time, who a lot of people in America, and again, this transcends administration. You talk about Joe Biden, you could talk about President Obama, you could talk about President Bush, George W. Bush. People did not like the Iranian regime forever in the United States, and it is the President of the United States, Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States, who gets to say that he has taken out the Iranian leader Khamenei.
Right, Rohit. So help us understand now what lies next now that US has announced that Khamenei is dead and that was their target to kill the supreme leader of Iran. Now that US has announced that this has happened, what can be expected next?
I think, the two things that will need to happen now. I think the first thing is the realization among the Iranians that Khamenei is no longer their leader. So that's the first thing that will need to happen. And more importantly, I think America needs to have a friendlier person take charge of the government in Iran, which was, again, why the strikes were authorized. So I think in those terms, we could see that there could be some fragments of the IRGC that could retaliate, that could essentially, in what we've seen, attack the other countries in this other countries in this in the Middle East. But you could also see that there could be some names that could start popping up that the Americans would be willing to work with. We've been told that there's at least one person that President Donald Trump thinks he can work with. He did not give details on who that person is, but he said he knows where this is headed and how the next steps would unfold as far as working with the Iranians to ensure that they would not, go on the path of what they were doing, which is developing nuclear weapons and ICBMs, and B, work with America to restore peace in the Middle East.
All right, Rohit, thank you for now. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on the story that we're closely tracking. So there's this big update.